Hello and thanks for tuning in. The purpose of today's video is to give you a broad overview of the prospecting process in the Nu Skin Connect app. Before we begin by adding a new prospect and scheduling a reach out for them, I wanted to show you how prospecting applies to the daily section in the Nu Skin Connect app. The daily is where we find all of the tasks that are due today. Remember, every single task in the application is about one thing and one thing only: communication. There are only two prospecting tasks: reach outs and follow-ups. Reach outs are the very first contact with a new prospect. And follow-ups, well, you do as many of those as it takes to convert this prospect into a customer. Here's how the whole thing works. You're going to add a new prospect. Then you will schedule and complete a reach out. You will follow up as many times as needed to convert them into a customer. When they say yes, you'll enter your order using the usual process. The prospect will convert automatically to a customer in the app. Orders will now show up in the app profile as well. Then the customer care tasks will begin automatically. To begin our journey and add a new prospect, we're going to head over to the prospecting section found in the toolbar on the far left. There's a pickaxe logo that we'll be looking at, and all we need to do is click on it. Once we click on it, we will find ourselves in the prospecting section. Now there's a lot we can accomplish here, and I promise I will give you a tour later, but at this point, we just want to add a prospect. If we look down towards the bottom left, we'll see right between Add a Task and Import Spreadsheet, a button that will allow us to add a prospect. That's what we're going to click on. Once we do, we'll come to the simple interface to enter our new prospect's information: name, where they live, and then any contact info we happen to have. I'm also going to show you how to add their social profile information, which comes in really handy for doing research on our prospects and customers, as well as just coming up with something to say. To add our prospect's Facebook information, we're going to head over to Facebook. We're going to search for our prospect. We happen to be friends, and there she is. There's Alexis. Now what we want to do is just copy the last part of the link out of their Facebook homepage. So we go to their profile, and then we copy the last part after facebook.com. We're going to head back to the application and paste that into the Facebook section. The process for Instagram is almost identical. Search for your prospect. There she is, Alexis. Now there's a couple of ways we can accomplish this. We can either copy their Instagram handle, which I see right there, Hair by Farah, or we can use the same process as Facebook. Head up to the address bar for your web browser and simply copy everything after Instagram.com. The app knows the first part of these links, so you just need to make sure you're copying the profile information. Once we have it, we head back to the application and paste the information where it belongs. That's it. We can click Create. Because we've added in a new prospect, the application wants to know when we plan on reaching out to this new prospect. There's lots of choices. We can choose today, tomorrow, next week, 2 weeks, next month, 3 months. We can choose previously completed if we've already had an interaction, or we can choose a date. In this case, we'll pick today, and then click Schedule. Once we've scheduled the reach out, we have the option to add notes or tags to this new prospect's profile. Keeping great account records is incredibly important. It's going to help you to remember what you talked about last time and give you something to talk about next time. Once you've added your notes, you have the option to add tags. Now, I've created a local tag, which allows me to create lists of the people who live in my local area. Comes in really handy for planning events. And that's it. We've added a new prospect and scheduled a reach out. If you'll recall, we scheduled that reach out task for today. So where do we go to find tasks that are due today? Well, we go to the daily. Once we arrive, we're simply going to check out our reach out tasks. I can see her name right there. Let's click on our reach outs, and right at the top we see Alexis Farah. And now I'm going to show you how to complete that reach out. Once we click on the reach out task, over on the far right we see the task pad. The task pad is going to become very familiar to you because the layout is essentially the same no matter what type of task you're completing. Remember, every task in the app is simply about communicating with your prospects or customers. You'll notice the big purple complete button. We also have a button to reschedule this reach out or remove it if it's not appropriate. Then all the various ways we can communicate: Facebook Messenger, Instagram, email. We can even use the WhatsApp desktop application. We can send content or even add contact information for LinkedIn if we wish. And down at the bottom, the app is recommending one of the scripts I've created for Lucas's amazing reach out. Viewing profile before you send a communication is really helpful because it gives you the chance to review any notes, orders, or any other information that's stored there. Let's take a look at Alexis's profile. Here we are in the details section. We see her name, the weather and time where she is, as well as the ability to contact her, send her content, edit, merge, or delete her, and then we have access to her social profiles. We can click on Facebook and see what's going on in her life here, or we could take a look at Instagram or LinkedIn if we had it in order to do the same. I've made it a best practice to check my customers and prospect socials before I send them messages. I find it's just a really great way to make sure I'm personalizing the interaction. Okay, let's close down the profile. Now what we want to do is decide how we're going to communicate with Alexis. Let's choose Messenger. The application will helpfully open up Facebook Messenger for me right away and allow me to type the message I want to Alexis. Once I've finished and sent the message, I'm going to go back to the application and mark the task as complete. All right, let's head back to the app. Now, the first thing we'll notice is that beside Alexis Farah, we see pending. This is the application's way of telling us that we never marked this task as complete. Let's do so now. We're going to click the complete button. One of the coolest things about prospecting in the app is the way that you can categorize your prospects. After every reach out and follow-up you complete, you will get a chance to categorize and recategorize your prospects as we move through the prospecting process. This is great because the relationship could change over time. Somebody who starts as being on the fence might end up as a hot prospect or a potential brand affiliate. In the prospecting section of the app, which we will cover later, you can actually filter through all of your prospects and only look at your hot prospects or your potential brand affiliates. This means you can use the application to work smarter, not harder, and spend your time with those prospects that are more likely to join your team or become a great customer. Now for Alexis, I'm going to choose Hot Prospect. When I do, you'll notice that there's a flame icon that gets automatically placed on her profile up towards the top. Also, because we chose Hot Prospect, the application is automatically scheduled a follow-up in 2 weeks. If we had chosen something less desirable, like On the Fence, that follow-up time could have been pushed out to a month or more. No matter how you decide to categorize your prospect, you can manually choose when you wish to follow up. I'm going to choose tomorrow and click Close. And that's it. We've completed our first reach out. Let's head back to the daily so that we can take a look at our follow-ups. Like I said, reach out's our first contact, and then we do as many follow-ups as it takes until the person says yes. Let's quickly cover the process to complete a follow-up. I'm going to click on my follow-ups. I'm going to choose Randy Simon. You'll notice that the task pad on the right looks almost identical to what we saw for the reach out. We're going to choose email as our method of communication this time. Sorry, I'll get out a full screen here. Go grab that email off of one of my other monitors, and now we can just type out what we want to send to Randy. Once we finish up and send our message to Randy, then we can mark this task as complete. All right, we'll click on Randy. We can see again that the task is pending. Now let's click that complete button. Every time you complete a prospecting task, you get the chance to recategorize your prospects. The idea being that the relationship could change over time. Now I chose potential brand affiliate, which is going to put a diamond logo on Randy and automatically schedule the next follow-up for 7 days. As with every task though, I have the option to reschedule that date to any time I choose. I can also add notes or tags, as you can see. Assuming I'm good with all of this, I can just click on the close button down in the bottom left. When I do, I'll be brought back to the daily to see the 2 remaining follow-ups for Jane and TL. Let's back out. Now here are all of my daily tasks, but over on the right I can see the ones I've completed, 1 reach out and 1 follow-up. Okay, so that took us through the process to complete reach outs and follow-ups. For the last part of the video, we're going to explore the prospecting section itself. We will find prospecting in the left-hand side toolbar just underneath the daily. Once in the prospecting section, you'll notice on the left that we have the ability to filter by both tasks as well as prospects. Let's take a tour together. Right now we're looking at all of our prospecting tasks, which influences what we see in the center of the screen. When we look towards the center of the screen, we see all of our tasks, reach outs, follow-ups, all arranged by date. If you feel like getting a head start on your prospecting tasks, you can do so here. Let's click on the reach out filter on the left. When we do, in the center of the screen, we will just see our reach out tasks. Let's take a look at our follow-up filter. There we go. These are all of our follow-ups. Now we can click on pending and see any tasks that we began but did not complete. We also have a recommended section for people that perhaps you've imported from a spreadsheet or your phone contacts. Down below we have filters for your prospects. Remember, as we complete reach out and follow-up tasks, we're asked to categorize our prospects. We have hot prospects, potential brand affiliates, there's a chance, or on the fence. These categorizations and their filters are going to allow you to work smarter, not harder, by spending time with the prospects that are actually going to move your business forward. Lastly, you can also check out any prospecting tasks you've completed. So I can see Randy Simon and Alexis Farah right there. This is where all of your completed tasks live, and you can get here from a couple of different places within the application. We're back in prospecting now, and I want to show you some other things. You can add a task at any point. You can add a prospect at any point, which we covered earlier. And lastly, you can import spreadsheet contacts. So if you have a spreadsheet or a CSV document full of prospects, you can upload that to the application anytime you like. We even have some helpful examples to make sure your data is formatted properly. One of the last things I want to show you is the Fill Your Funnel option. If you've imported your mobile phone contacts or imported a spreadsheet of prospects, you can turn on the Fill Your Funnel option. Fill Your Funnel will automatically add 5 reach outs every single day for you into the daily. There's a few more filtering options I want to show you. If you want to see the people that are contactable on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or mobile phone, you can filter that way. You can also look at tasks that are due tomorrow, or even tasks that are due later than tomorrow. Over on the very far right, you can see a gauge that tells you your prospecting tasks that have been completed today. This is based on the tasks that are showing in the daily. You've done 1 reach out and 1 follow-up. I can see this week's activity, last week's activity, and I can even view my completed tasks. Okay, let's get out of completed tasks and head back over to the prospecting section for a quick recap of your prospecting process. The first step in prospecting is to add a new prospect. Once we've done that, we'll schedule and complete a first contact reach out. We will follow up as many times as needed until they say yes. Then we'll go to the back office and enter our order using the usual process. After that, the prospect will convert automatically to a customer in the app. Orders will now show up in the app. At this point, customer care tasks will begin automatically. Well, that just about does it. The purpose of this video was to give you a high-level overview of the prospecting process in the Nu Skin app. We added a new prospect, scheduled and completed a reach out, scheduled a follow-up, and then we took a tour of the prospecting section itself. I hope you found it useful, and thanks for watching.